Hello, sisters. This is Real Sister coming at you this early afternoon. Um, I want to basically gear this show relative to only the sisters. I mean, I know the brothers will also to be listening in, but this teaching or this segment, I would like to give this information exclusively to the sisters that are listening, or if you plan on downloading this show later on. This show's topic, let me open up my Word document, is the 13th sign, Black Indigenous Woman and the Prophecies. Forgive my voice. I'm trying to get through a cold right now, so I'm sucking on cough drops and drinking tea. So bear with me, okay? I feel that someone out there, the information that I'm giving is helping them to understand why these things are taking place, what has happened, and to give you a better understanding on what's going on. I feel someone needs to hear this information. That's why I'm doing this show. Okay? So I wanted to go into briefly the Hopi prophecy, but these are some things that were not written in the Hopi prophecy, but these are some things that they are saying that happened. Um, and this writing is by Martin Gashema. That's Gashesseoma. Gashioma. Martin Gashioma. Okay? And he goes into this Hopi prophecy, talking about his predictions as relative to the end times. Now, he says here, and this was dated back in August of 1970, he says that the UFO will be calling by several Hopi Indians and was interpreted by some Hopis as being part of the fulfillment of a certain inscribed on second Mesa warning of the coming of Purification Day, when the true Hopi will be flown to other planets and ships without wings. Okay, here they're talking about flying saucers. Okay, now they're saying here that the Hopi are going to be picked up by flying saucers from other alien planets. And I'm trying not to laugh because I don't want to start coughing. Now, if you listen to my other two previous shows dealing with the Hopi prophecy, they were talking about how their land is protected and anybody that messes with their land is going to catch hell and is going to reap a big punishment. But here he's saying that the Hopi Indians interpreted flying saucers or space aliens coming to pick them up and take them to other planets to be rescued. And everybody else, like I said in my last show, is going to be shit out of luck. And you just going to have to make it on your own. And the Hopi people are the only people that are going to be saved. This goes back to that again. You know, well, what's the purpose of everybody else's life on this planet? What about the black indigenous woman? She was the first one here, and she's going to be the last one here. But you mean to tell me that these so-called UFOs, not to say that there are not other civilizations out there in space or other planets that have other civilizations. I'm not saying that. But why are they just going to come and pick up these Hopi people and fuck everybody else? That does not make sense. That doesn't even look right, like I said in my last show. And then he goes in to say that, let me skip down real quick. Okay, he goes, let me read this paragraph to you. He says, the Hopi also predicted that when the heart of the Hopi's land, trust, is dug up, great disturbances will develop in the balance of nature, for the Hopi Holy Land is the microcosmic image of the entire planet, and any violations of nature in the Four Corners region will be reflected and amplified all over the earth. Okay, they seem to have an attraction to this land, and that anybody that messes with this land, there's going to be destructions and violations done against the Four Corners in the desert area if anybody disturbs or does anything to disrupt that land. Well, excuse me, but the last time I checked my history books, Ethiopia is the Holy Land. Okay, not Iraq, not Jerusalem, but Ethiopia. So how is this Hopi land over here in the United States more holier than the holy sacred ground of Ethiopia? Okay, I just have a problem with that. I mean, because they seem to be, like I said in my last show, trying to appear to be more than what they really are, and they're trying to emphasize that their land is more holy and more spiritual than any place on earth, and it's been designated to them and only them. Okay, and that is some issues there. Okay, and then he's going in here to say that he foretells that the judgment in front of the big mirror and death to those who are evil and wicked, with only a handful of people surviving in every nation overseas, who will then come to this continent, which we call heaven. So they're calling their Hopi land heaven. Okay, but if you read earlier in their prophecies, they're talking about heaven being a place away from earth. Okay, and they're saying that other nations like the UK, United Kingdom, Russia, and all of these other countries, the survivors are going to come and flee over here. That doesn't make sense to me, because they're more closer to the continent, to the motherland, including Ethiopia, than we are. So my interpretation is that they would probably head further east towards Africa instead of trying to run over here, because they say here is where the shit's supposed to go down. So why would you want to come here where all the hell go break loose? You know, I mean, there's a lot of things in these predictions and prophecies that have a lot of conflicts to me that I catch and take notes on. And then it goes into say, let me see here. Okay, this is what I wanted to go into. It says, the life and death matters will be determined when the Pahana returns, and theories abound as to Pahana's identity. Now, this Pahana, what is he supposed to be? Some spiritual being? I'm thinking this Pahana is supposed to be their Jesus. Okay, and they're saying that this Pahana, they have different theories about his identity. And then it says here that they are calling the Pahana the white brother, and he is to return from the east. So this Pahana is supposed to be a white brother or European that is to return from the east. And they also speculated he could be Spaniard or Anglo. It says here that they devised tests to determine who the true Pahana really is, but they really don't know. And they were going to get knowledge from their brotherhood and similar religious beliefs, and then they say that they have the possession of the missing piece of the stone tablet. But then they're saying that the Hopis tested this, and the Catholics, the Baptists, and the Mormons, none of their information that they brought to the Hopi satisfied the Hopi. Okay, so these Hopis are supposed to, what are they, archaeologists now? First they're prophetesses, now they're archaeologists. Now, It also says that this Hopi prophecy is related to the book of Revelations in the Bible. But none of these Hopis, these chiefs, these holy so-called men, none of them that I have read, now email me if I'm wrong, none of them have claimed to be a medium. None of them have claimed to be a psychic. None of them have claimed to be a clairvoyant, to be able to see these occurrences take place and then write them down on paper. Now, even in the Bible, in Revelation, John goes in to tell you of his visions and the things that were to come. Okay, at least John had visions, but these Hopis, they ain't got shit. No, they ain't got no spiritual readers, no clairvoyants, no mediums, no nothing. I mean, and why a prophecy, my opinion, is a document that you create yourself. You don't plagiarize it off of the Bible and other ancient texts, okay? You put it together yourself, and it is your own work. It is your own creation, okay? And you put your John Hancock on it, signing it, saying that this is your original creation. But how could this be a prophecy when you're plagiarizing from other prophecies? To put your own spin on it, to say that it's authentic. This is not authentic. It is not, okay? And I'm just going to put that out there. This is not authentic in the least. Now, let me see here. Let me check my time real quick. Okay. I wanted to go into the 13th sign in relation to these prophecies that we are reading and these prophecies that are popping up as to be authentic and real, and you are to believe it, and nothing else matters. On that level, I would say to take it at face value. Okay, now I have some information here, and I pulled it off the internet, and I had it for some time. It's called The Changing Zodiac Signs. Okay, the Serpent Bearer, Ophiuchus, and the Procession, which is talking about the alignment, and the return of the great goddess. You see, they're trying to veil the goddess. They're trying to hide the goddess by saying that a male is going to come back and restore everything, when actually it's going to be a female, okay? Now, based on this scholarship, it's saying that the 13th constellation, Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer, and I have a picture of the constellation on my page, and it's the 13th astrological sign, and it's for those born from November 30th to December 17th. So that makes me wonder, am I really an Aquarius? Is my brother or sister really a Gemini or a Leo or a Scorpio, you know, since we have a 13th constellation out there, you know? But like I said in previous videos, if you watch my YouTube videos, they had to change the way that we measure time. So they had to change everything over to the number 12, and they reduced it from the number 13, okay? And that's how we have our Gregorian calendars, and that's how they started measuring time by the sun, because we used to measure time by the moon during the matriarchal period, okay? Now, according to this myth, Ophiuchus became a healer when he killed the snake, and another appeared with an herb in his mouth that revived the dead one, okay? The sun has been going through Ophiuchus for thousands of years, okay? And then it goes on to say that the new sign, which was originally discarded by the Babylonians, who wanted just the 12 signs per year, because they were fighting for this patriarchy, okay? And they wanted to move away from the matriarchal goddess worship, okay? It's associated with healing. It's associated with enlightenment, medicine, and higher education. But some astrologers say that people don't need to worry about their star sign having shifted. So they're saying here that our star signs are going to shift during this alignment, okay? Now, they're saying here that most Western astrologers adhere to the tropical zodiac, a system fixed to seasons, rather than the constellation-based system the Babylonians came up with, okay? Now, it says here also, the current reemergence of the serpent bear, which is the Great Mother, the ancient snake goddess, from time before his story, is the return of the great goddess. She is returning now because Earth is aligning with the center of her home galaxy, and the great goddess is heralding an occurrence, the beginning of the ascending processional cycle, which begins once every 27,000 years, as I said in my previous show, okay? Now, the Great Mother is returning, and that was the divine feminine correction that I have been speaking of in my previous shows, okay? And this scholarship verifies that. So, based on this information, brothers and sisters, specifically the sisters, this causes me to question, since the Great Mother is coming back, does that make all these other prophecies obsolete? Now that you know that she is indeed coming back during this alignment, when they're talking about this LNN and this Planet X and this dwarf star and all this kind of stuff you see on YouTube and all over the internet, come to find out, it ain't nothing but the feminine energy. Now, I just read to you the scholarship. She is returning, okay, to the earth, okay? Now, also it says in the Hopi prophecy, let me go back up to the Hopi prophecy and throw this in. Now, it says here in the Hopi prophecy, one of their predictions is that it'll be two serpents, and it'll be a warrior sitting at one of the poles at the serpent's head, and it'll be another warrior sitting at the other pole at the serpent's tail, okay? And then they're saying that, I'll read it to you, there are two water serpents, and these water serpents, they're pulling from this ancient goddess text. They could be also pulling it from the Tiamat myth, the Tiamat and Marduk myth, but I'll read it to you. There are two water serpents, one at each pole with the warrior sitting on his head and tail. These command nature to warn us of her activities, that time is getting short and we must correct ourselves. If we refuse to take heed to these warnings, the warriors will let go of the serpents and they will rise up and they will perish. Okay, my question is, who are these warriors? And from reading what I just read to you, it doesn't say anything about any warriors holding down the goddess. Now, that's the patriarchal struggle when they talk about these warriors, because these warriors are men. They're not goddesses, okay? Goddesses wouldn't be holding down the Great Mother. You understand what I'm saying? So they're trying to keep a hold on her. They're trying to control her to protect their patriarchy from the wrath and the feminine divine correction that is to come. But like I said in my last show, they cannot stop it. Okay? It's too late. Okay? Now, they're saying that this is a frightening prophecy. I don't think so. I don't think it's a frightening prophecy because you dibbled and dabbled and you plagiarized to put together this so-called Hopi prophecy, and it's not an original authored work by the Hopi people or by any type of Hopi scholars. Or even a Hopi scholar will come up with his own original writing and have some type of psychic vision or something that is to come. Okay? But they couldn't even do that shit. All right? So I just have a problem with this prophecy from beginning to end. I just truly do. And I don't think that you should take this prophecy as coming to pass given the information that I'm giving you. Okay? Now, let me check my time real quick. Okay, going back into this Ophiuchus, the Great Mother, coming back during the alignment. Now, like I said before, the processional cycle begins once every 27,000 years, which is an age, sisters, okay? Now, it also says here that the Serpent Bearer constellation is situated between the Serpent's constellation, which is unique, okay, as far as other modern constellations, being split in two contagious parts. The serpent's head to the west, and the serpent's cauda, the serpent's tail, to, what is it, the east. That's what it's saying here. Okay, so that's what this Hopi prophecy was talking about. These warriors are going to go to these poles, or they're going to go up into the constellation to try to control the Mother Goddess. That's why on my page, if you look at my page, Ophiuchus is trying, he looks like he's in a struggle, trying to control the snake dragon, trying to control the feminine energy. He's trying to control the feminine energy in order to keep his patriarchy going, in order to continue to rule the planet. But that time is up because we're going and moving into a new age. Okay? One moment. So, the Great Mother has several different aspects. She has a Babylonian aspect of Tiamat, and that represents a huge serpent. All throughout the world, the serpent is the symbol of the evil dragon and the powers of evil. But it's not evil. It is not. If you study the serpent, they use the serpent on medical buildings as a form of healing in the medical arts. The queens and the goddesses in Egypt had serpents on their crowns as far as opening up and psychic vision. So it's, and they also used serpents to heal. So serpent is in no way evil. Man had to deem it as evil in order to take its power away from it and deem it bad so that you and other generations would stay away from it and leave it alone. Okay? This serpent is also seen, this same serpent is also seen in the book of Genesis, near the tree of paradise or the tree of life. And they also talk about this tree, forbidden fruit, which brought her mortality. So it's the fruit, it's the snake, and it's this procession, and it's this alignment, and it's these prophecies, and matriarchy and patriarchy. You see, they're trying. How can I word this for you? They're trying to veil the mother. They're trying to veil the great mother and cloak her because they don't want you to recognize the event that she is to arise. And they want to pull your attention away from that to get you to bow down to the man, because the man wants your allegiance. Because there's going to come a time, brothers and sisters, that you're going to be asked, who is your allegiance to? It's going to be a time when you're going to be asked, or you're going to have to choose your side, as they say. Okay? And this is part of what they're talking about. Okay? So what I recommend is go back and read these Babylonian myths. Go back and study Marduk and Tiamat. Maybe I'll do a show on that to give you a breakdown on that. I think I will. Maybe in a few weeks. Also, there's a book that you can get, and let me give you that name. It's called The Empowered Human, The Pyramid Code, The Egyptian Book of the Dead, okay? And it's by Carmen Butler. That's Boulter, okay? And it says here that she goes into this serpent myth, but you know, if you didn't want to get the book, you can also, there's a plethora of information on the internet where you can study more about this serpent. But my focus is these males that are writing these prophecies to get you to bow down and be subservient to them, when I just gave you scholarship stating that the Great Mother is to return. Okay? They don't want you to know that the Great Mother is to return. They don't want you to pay attention to that. That's why they put these prophecies out. And then they lie to you, and then they tell you the truth at the same time. They got to give you some truth. It can't all be a lie. They got to give you a little bit of truth. But at the same time, they got to lie to you to pull you to them, to give you enough fear and enough intimidation to where you will be subservient and pull to them and pull away from the mother. When, like I said in my last show, now is a time more than any when you need to be getting connected with the Mother Earth, getting in connection with the universe, which is feminine, and getting in connection with yourself and preparing yourself for these events that are about to take place. No one knows the day, time, or hour, but it is going to be spectacular. I can promise you that. Okay? So that was basically the gist of it. And when you do have some time, go study the constellations of Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. They're saying that the constellation can be seen with a naked eye, okay, if you have a telescope. And the constellation looks actually like the front of a house. You know, it is a constellated house, but it is the constellated house of the Great Mother, and she is to return very soon, okay? And these Hopi prophecies keep let me get some water. These Hopi prophecies keep talking about this Pahana. I guess this Pahana is supposed to be their Jesus, okay? They're not going to tell you the truth, okay, that the Great Mother is coming back, okay? They want you to accept their teachings, which they called their seeds of knowledge or whatever they called it, okay? Accept their teachings and ignore the Great Mother that is coming to return. But they do put her in a little bit in the prophecy, but they don't tell you the whole truth. Okay, they just give you little dibs and dabs of it because they don't want to go back to the matriarchy. They don't want you to give your allegiance to the Great Mother. They want your allegiance. That's what I'm trying to say. So they write these prophecies getting you to be submissive to them and ignoring the feminine energy. And if you are a female, you especially need to be listening to this show and doing your research, okay? Because all of the prophecies that I have read are male-based, okay? And that's why I brought you this information about the changing zodiac signs and the serpent bearer, okay? The return of the great goddess. When they say that Jesus is to return and this Pahana is to return, and when this Pahana returns, he's going to have the authority, and he's going to have the jurisdiction, and he's going to decide over life and death of the people. That's a bunch of bullshit, okay? He is not going to decide the life and the death of the people, okay? Not when the return of the great goddess is to be here shortly, okay? I don't think the Great Mother is going to allow that to happen. But then again, that depends on you and where your allegiance lies. So, sisters, we need to look into these things and stop and do not fear these male prophecies, given what the great goddess has to say, listening to her, going into meditation and understanding her, and paying attention to the signs that she leaves you. Your fear will start to leave after you do these things and stop paying attention to these male-oriented patriarchal prophecies, okay? Because they're laced with fear, they're laced with deception, they're laced with confusion, okay? And this patriarchy has caused us, sisters, nothing but pain, suffering, and abuse. And my interpretation is that the Great Mother is coming to correct these things. So that's why they say that they have a warrior on her head and they have a warrior on her tail, because they're trying to control the wrath that she is to bring, that correction that she is to bring. But I don't think there's any warriors there at all. I truly don't believe there's any warriors there at all to do anything to stop the wrath that is about to take place. So I may go into a part 2 of this. I don't know. I'm not for sure. I may go into it next week. But whatever I decide to do, it's going to be interesting, and I hope that you tune in. Also, about the workshop, I still plan on doing the workshop, and if you are interested, please do email me, and I've already created a waiting list, and I'll put you on the waiting list, and I will email you as updates as far as the time where we are to meet, so on and so forth. So with that, I hope you enjoyed the show. I enjoyed speaking to you all, and you all have a wonderful weekend. Peace out.